Leslie, I know that you've received the banning of the film in India. You've received maybe notifications on Twitter, various things. Advice for another filmmaker that is making an emotionally, politically charged film and still wants to carry on a very, very important message and has the help of others around them, but just dealing with that in general. What is your advice? Because I'm sure there's many other filmmakers, whether it's Blackfish, an Errol Morris film. There's probably so many others that have been in your shoes, but it's not something that's you could just pick up a book and find out how to deal with it.
My advice is simply this: commit 100%. Do not shy away from telling the truth in whatever form of expression that takes. If you care about this message, just tell the truth, because apathy and silence and all forms of negotiating the truth because it's not quite tasteful or it's a little bit shocking. Shock is a powerful tool. Shock is important. We don't have enough of that. We don't hear the truth enough. We've become so inured to concepts that that really deal with the most fundamental violations of human rights, and we've become so used to them. FGM, we give them little acronyms, They trip off the tongue so easily. FGM. FGM, let us not forget what that is. A knife is taken, the clitoris of a woman is cut out, her labia are cut off. I spoke to a Somalian girl the other day who told me that one of the practices, as amongst husbands and wives, is that if a husband will go off on a business trip, he will sew his wife up. He'll come back and cut the stitches. This is what we're talking about. And the world is what? Ignoring this? It's accepting it. We have to scream out. We also have to not think, how will I be allowed to do this? We have to think, who's going to stop me from doing this? And, it's the most important thing always is, with filmmaking, I think, is committing yourself to the truth and passion and integrity of what you feel. Because, there were moments where I wanted to give up. There was one day where I was giving up. There was no question. Nothing in the world was going to keep me there, except I happened to phone when I thought my kids were asleep and thought I would get my husband. I was in the midst of a major panic attack. And I think it was not long after I'd interviewed a rapist who had raped a 5-year-old girl. And that just so drenched me in the deepest sense of profound pity for the world that, given the state that we are in, that can happen, and that this man could have told me so easily that he did this because she was a beggar girl and her life was of no value. And I was so depressed by all this that I think that must have led to this breakdown. And I phoned home literally to tell my husband to book the flight, because I didn't even have the presence of mind to do that. And my daughter had answered the phone, and she immediately knew that I was in trouble and asked me what was wrong, and I then just burst out crying. I couldn't control myself. She then started talking me down off this panic attack with breathing exercises. Oh. She was 13 and a half when she did this. And then her final statement to me, after telling me to write all my problems down and then start solving the little ones first, so she gave me some very practical advice, and then she said to me, "And Mummy, you're not coming home because I and my generation of girls are relying on you." And that was it. So I stayed. But that day I really was going to stop and so badly wanted to. But, the thing is that there are so many, when you're dealing with a difficult subject like this, there are so many reasons to stop and not do it. And there are so many obstacles, physical, practical, emotional, psychological, that unless you have that real compulsion, you may as well not start. So once you have that fire in the belly, just go with it and go all the way. And if you go all the way, that message will get through, as it's getting through here. I mean, this film has sparked more conversations about gender inequality and this issue, this pressing, urgent issue of how women and girls are treated in every country in the world to differing degrees and with differing characteristics. It's sparked more of those conversations in the last 5 months than have been heard in the last decade. So that can only be a good thing. And I think it's because of the shock. It's because of the 100% commitment. And, you know, I mean, if I die doing this, my time on earth will have been worthwhile. So when I get these tweets, you know, white bitch, you deserve to be raped, or threats to my life, or pornography being sent, I just tell myself, fly at 30,000 feet above this. This will change when the solution is put into effect. And I have got the solution, I have to tell you, because of the insights and the perspective of having delved so deep with such commitment into this particular inquiry. And I just have to tell myself that, you know, these are pathetic, backward-looking people who are very soon going to be left behind when there will be new learning and the world will change.